We're going to wait for a couple seconds and then we're going to get started. So, judges, you're going to be scoring the points. This is a slam. So, judges, you're going to be scoring the points on a scale of 0 to 10. 0 being a piece of shit, they should have been here tonight, they should have went through that. A 10 being a perfect point, makes you go home, have great stuff happen to you, something good happens. Also, please use decimal points to avoid ties. Whatever moves you, be consistent. Audience, you have a major role in this as well. You clap for each and every person who steps up on stage because it's very difficult to get up here and tell your story, especially when someone's throwing up scores after you're done. But you do not have to be as kind to the judges. So, if you do not like the scores that you see from the judges, you can boo the judges. So, your options are to clap for the score and always clap for the poet, and then if you don't like the score, you boo the judges. Sounds easy? Yes? Alright, so what we're going to do real quick, on the count of 3, we're going to clap like a perfect 10. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go. On the count of 3, a 2.4. 1, 2, 3. Claps? No claps. If you're clapping, you're fucking up. Ooh. Alright, poets. Poets, are you guys ready? Are you all ready? You sure? Just the poets clap for yourselves, because that's all you get. Are you complete? Oh, you have the score. Give it up for the scorekeeper. He needs love too. Scorekeeper, what is your name? Steven. Give it up for Steven, the scorekeeper. Camera guy, what is your name?
Akash.
Tosh?
Akash.
Akash?
Yeah.
Give it up for Akash. The person with the 3 balloons. What are those 3 balloons for?
Today's my birthday.
Oh, that's so beautiful. How old are you? How old are you? Wait.
Happy birthday to
22. Wow, give it up for you. We're going to sing happy birthday to you. Okay? Damn. Alright. We're going to do the Stevie Wonder version. On his count. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday. That's not the Stevie Wonder version. Who knows the Stevie Wonder version? Get to Please come up here. Please come up here. No, you have to come here. Don't go to the extra words, just do the easy part. Just for the people who don't know, alright? So on the count of 3, she'll start it off and then you just join it. She'll do it enough so that you know, because it's basic. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Alright, so how many of you have been to a slam before? Oh, good. So give it up for yourselves. Who's never been to one before? Oh, shit. Fantastic. Give it up for yourselves. Give it up for the 4 people in the sound booth, sound and lights booth back there. They look like they're playing video games. Nothing's happened. Alright, so my name is Shihan, and I'm going to be your host. And we're going to get started. Y'all ready to get started? Oh, give it up for her. She's here. We're waiting for you guys. Come on down. Come on down. We're waiting for you. Come on. We're waiting. Don't sit down, dude. We're talking to you guys. Both of you. See my hand? Come on! Clap it up for them, because they're going to do it. Special guests, come to the front. I will come over there. Oh, you're making this uncomfortable. Oh, come on! There's seats right there in the 3rd row waiting to go in. These seats are the not seats. You know what? This dude right here is going to stuff you.
you escaped, but you did. That's you too. Come on. Come on. Come on. Hey, come on. There we go. Yeah. Is anyone else ever confused why the steps are so long? They make it uncomfortable for you. Like, who walks like that? All right, everyone who just walked in, come forward. Come up to these front rows. Oh shit, you almost fell. Turn the lights on. Turn the lights on. I was the only one who saw it. No one else saw you almost tripped, so don't worry about it. They're not laughing at that. They're laughing at some shit I said earlier. So there we go. There we go. There we go. But you only got enough seats for 5 of your 6 friends. That's okay. Alright. Alright, so poets, you should know the rules. You guys know all the rules, yes? You all familiar with the rules? If you do say yes or no or something, so we know. Alright. So, when you come up here, do your thing, enjoy yourself, have fun. No props, no costumes. This was just handed to me. If you're caught reading your poem off paper or a phone, you are automatically, I'm just fucking with you. You can do whatever you need to do. Just enjoy yourself.
Alright, so we have a calibration poet. We have 2 calibration poets. Calibration poet is a poet who is not competing in a slam, but will be judged as if they were competing. So, this is your guinea pig, so the judges, this is your chance to test out your scoring skills on these first poets. So, coming up to the stage right now, please put your hands together for Eric Lee. Y'all give it up for Eric Lee!
Hello everyone. Can everyone hear me? I'm the first person. I've never done this before. My name is Eric Lee, and I wrote a Spencerian sonnet. Okay, it's about a male flower who's in love with a female flower, but they're growing in different fields. Have you guys ever heard of a quote that says, if you truly appreciate the beauty of a flower, don't pick it from the ground because it'll die and wilt. So you don't want to spoil it. You don't want to spoil its beauty, right? So that's what my poem is based on. Thank you. Deep inside the heart of a mountain pass, my leaves and petals stand tall in the field. Yet she is growing in the other field, surrounded by a barrier that does not heal. Her beauty is surrounded by a shield of wind and grass and storms of dust. One second while I remember my lines. A shield of wind and grass and storms of dust that ensures her splendor not be revealed. That ensures her splendor not be revealed. Sorry, I memorized this poem last minute, so, and I just threw it on the random body language, so. Can I look at my notes? Oh, yeah. That ensures the splendor not be revealed. This repels me, yet draws me close with lust. Persevering in hope that love won't rust. While erect like a marble, missing a crucial piece of its bust, yearns my stamen to penetrate her heart hole. Every night I dream of that one day yet rooted to the stubborn ground will stay. Thank you.
Keep going back, do one more time.
Judges, on the count of 3, you're going to put your scorecards in there. 1, 2, 3. Judges, put your scorecards up. All right, from low to high, we have a 7.1. You like we have a 7.9. We have an 8.5. Next calibration ball coming up to the stage. Give it up for Christina Dye, y'all. Give it up for Christina Dye.
Nervous. This is my first time ever sharing anything ever. Beautiful pain, costly price. This is about a really incredible man, my favorite name, Jesus. So, here it is. Beautiful pain, costly price. Up from the grave, you rose again. You snatched the keys of death and hell and enabled us to win. You laid down your entire life, your entire being, just to save sinners like us and give our lives true meaning. Your body broken, beaten, ripped, and worn. All of that suffering just to ensure that the veil was indeed torn. The battle fought, the enemy defeated. All of that so we could be seated with you. Tell me, why would a man do this? Tell me, why would he even care? You see, it's all because he loves us that he wouldn't even dare surrender the perfect will of the Father simply because it might bother him. You may ask me, who is this man who could pay such a beautiful and costly price? And I say, well, his name is Jesus Christ. And he did it all in effort to obtain but a slice of your heart and soul. So just so he can hold us in the palm of his bruised and beautiful hands, knowing that this price would be the very price that it would, knowing that this price would be all that it took and all that we would ever need to stand. So congratulations, audience. Congratulations, reader. Congratulations, soul who was once lost. See, the price was paid for your sin and your mistakes. The golden ticket has already been laid and made front and center. So come close and come quickly. Please pay close attention and please don't miss it. You see, Jesus is the one. Jesus is the cure. Jesus is the solution. Jesus is your answered prayer. You see, the battle for your life and soul was begun since the day you were born. But thanks be unto God that through him, Jesus Christ, your battle has already been won. So please, my beloved brother and my sister, don't ever run away. He knows your heart and all the things that you've been dying to say to him. So please, speak to him. Seek him. Love him. Find him. Know him. Because he wants you. His unconditional love is bigger and wider than the deepest of oceans. And trust and believe me, his unconditional and everlasting love is way bigger than an ocean. If you're still wondering why such a man would lay down his life in such a way, the answer is you. Yes, you. Your heart, your soul, your well-being was just enough for him to willingly endure the toughest of beautiful pain costing us.
Keep it going for Christina while judges get your scores together. Give it up for Christina, judges. 1, 2, 3. Judges for scores up. All right, from low to high, we have an 8.4. We have an 8.6. And we have a 9.9. Are you ready for the first part of the slam? Yeah. You don't sound like it. You ready for the first part of the slam? Give it up for Shelby, y'all. Give it up for Shelby.
I love you. Okay. So, this piece doesn't have a title. I guess I'll call it Slam piece number 1. Okay, I'm gonna do. My poems are not pretty. They do not pop with pleasing imagery. Rather, they rock with a rhythmic alliteration and perhaps a pinch of poetic exaggeration. My poems are stories, not sad, stagnant scenes of things like rain falling on my shattered dreams. Not to be mean, of course, because I have a deep admiration for that masterful manipulation of our sensory imagination. All I'm saying is, I can't do that. I cannot contrive such sophisticated eloquation on condensation. But I can rhyme, and when I spit, I try to make it like a conversation. So, if you feel me say, woo! Woo! Right. And please, send me on to round 2, so you can see what else my plain little poems can do.
Give it up for Shelby one more time.
1, 2, 3. Judge who scores that. All right, from low to high, we have a 9.1. 9.2. 9.3. For Grant. Give it up for Grant.
What's up? How's everybody doing? Are you ready for this? The title of this poem is Life Without Poetry. Life without poetry is Disney without any princesses. It's random animals singing about shit that doesn't really pertain to anything. It's cupcakes with no filling and frosting inside your mouth. It's a snow cone without any syrup in your hand. It's just a cup of snow. It's orgasmless sex in a frat party closet that's kind of sketchy. It's the inside of your butt after you work out on the hottest day of the year. Life without poetry is a childhood without birthdays. It's a relationship without cuddling. Life without poetry is a bio degree. It's work. Sorry. It's Drake's last album played entirely through any time. It's the embrace of a toilet after you just failed 7 shots of Jose Cuervo. That's life without poetry. But life with poetry is the warm feeling you get when you hug your grandmother on Christmas morning. It's the smell of pine trees the first time you go to Yosemite. It's an animal-style burger, 3 by 3. It's the first time you hold your best friend's child, you will. It's your little sister's laugh, it's being alive, and it's happening right now. Thank you.
Just put scores up. All right, from low to high, we have an 8.4. We have a 9.4. And we have a 10. Next one on the stage, put your hands together for Inviso Man. Give it up.
Sorry about this. It's I'm gonna probably kill the mood here. I don't mean to, and if I make you cry, I'm sorry. This poem is untitled, but primarily this poem, let me tell you, I want you to make your own title. I've got quite the past, and I'll tell you I'm no deviant being. I just never like being told to don a mask and wear the plastic as if it was me or my life. I don't want your gospel giving me praise for putting up with my enemies. I didn't care much for myself, and I didn't care for my lack of identity. But a man like me was tired of being so freaking small. I was the runt of the wolf pack, no leader, they cried. What was I but pathetic and worthless, useless and tasteless? They created a monster, and then the monster hit me in here. It grabbed at my heart and caused me great strife, all at once ever so present with death coming after my life. I hated it in myself, and finally said, stop! I knew what I could do. My talent. It's only present and never so few. I actually cared like my Savior once did for me. I smiled, became invincible, and honored my memories. And I did what I do best, remain a shadow in the groups of my friends. I became my own being, my own man. I became my heart and my soul. I became someone you don't even know. I've acquired my identity, and I am who I say I am. Don't ever shut me out, don't ever think you can. Why? Because I am Invisible Man.
Just scores up. From low to high, we have an 8.7. We have a 9.2, and we have a 9.7. Everyone's noticing the light, like, right towards the end of everyone's arm. Do that shit? What is that? Oh, shit, you should turn it off. Fuck your whole shit. Alright, next one coming up to the stage. Give it up for Carissa.
This poem also doesn't have a title. It isn't for any cool poetic reason, mostly because I wrote it this morning in the shower when I was late for work. Anyways, you drank to drown your sorrows, but your sorrows learned to swim. I tried to bury my past, but as it turns out, my past never did. So there I was, planting my pain in the earth and sand, and there you were, sinking your anchor in a sea of cheap vodka and gin. We thought maybe my earth and your sea can align with the beauty of the Caribbean shore. But sometimes you pull me too tight, and I fall through your fingers like grains of sand. So instead, I made myself hard like the jagged seaside cliffs. And you didn't like it. One night, still liquored up from the bar, your waves of anger pounded and pounded against me. Your waters crept inside my caves and crevices until I started to erode. And now you're just another memory to bury. And I'm just another reason for that second cup. Thank you.
All right, that was Carissa. Give it up for Carissa. 1, 2, 3. Judges, put your scores up. All right, from low to high, we have an 8.7. We have an 8.8. We have a 9.5. All right, next one to the stage. Give it up for Adair. Give it up for Adair.
Hello, everybody. All right, there's about a tasteful crowd. This looks like my entrance psych class. My poem is about, it's a chronicle. It's about me and my ex-girlfriends, if I had any. It's called Technically and Hesitantly. The bar was buzzing when I came wandering in. That wonderful buzzing makes me wink and smile and explain to the ladies that my middle name is Sin. Technically, I'll follow up with a sign. Hesitantly, I'll correct myself. That's technically and hesitantly Sin spelled with a Y. On another evening, Starla and I will head to my house, and I'll try to be quiet as a mouse. When out of nowhere it means not, because she slams the door without a thought. Who's there? A raspy voice cries out, causing Starla to pout and ask me the same question. Technically, I respond and think to myself, oh brother. Hesitantly I answer, that's technically and hesitantly my mother. Finally, all the steps were complete, and my progress was totally sweet. When I had saved Ophelia from drowning, a feat which ended up amounting to a few takes and a trip back to my place. Past the terrible pickup line, past the mother's house dilemma, things got hot and heavy, the serenity of the night revealing a bevy of possibilities. The lights go out, and after a moment, I quickly let out a shout, "Babe, let me turn on the nightlight. It's a little too dark, and it makes the mood just right." Thank you.
One, two, three. Judges, put your scores up. All right, we have an 8.2. We have an 8.9. We have a 9.2. Next ball coming up to the stage. Is it Lee Warren? Yes. Yes, it is. Give it up for Lee.
Good girl. How you guys doing today? You guys doing okay? Yeah. So this poem doesn't have a title or anything, but it's something that came to my heart. So hopefully you guys enjoy, sit back, relax, and just listen to what I gotta say. I am trapped, and not like in any situation where we can easily sought to decide another path. We're trapped in a web that life has weaved for me to be in this position, like a spider. Life weaved a web and I'm caught, like a fly waiting to be eaten and floating to my last breath. Who to become? Where to go? What is it that life wanted me all along? Who to please? Who to make proud when I lack to acknowledge that I should be the one proud? Each step I take is blind as I path. It's a blind path that's still unknown. What is my major? What is my word? My destination is yet still not shown. All because of this web that life created, and not even knowing that I can fly away or had a chance to get away. But red is running me. Will running help get to who I want to be? But when I run in circles, finding not my path but caught again, and I panic, yet not realizing that the only way to survive is just to live your life. That life is a web, but only big as you weave. That in reality, I am the one that webbed the web for me. Thank you.
Believe one more time. You gotta believe. 1, 2, 3. Judges, put your scores up. All right, we have an 8.6. We have a 9.7. We have a 9.9. All right, next ball coming up to the stage. Give it up for Hillary, y'all. Give it up for Hillary.
Adjusting this mic, so I'm gonna hold it. All right, so this piece is actually part one of a poem called Hands, which is what I would read in the second round if I make it, so you better send me there. All right, so here it goes. There is nothing more beautiful than discovering that you have hands that can speak, embrace, feel, write, that can literally hold yourself together, that can teach you what it means to go down swinging, that can make you trace your way from the edge of your palms back to the beginning, where everything you built began. With those two hands, and each bloody knuckle and each missed punch is another chance to regroup, to make what you built better, this time with blistered and calloused hands, that broke your fall, but couldn't seem to break your fear of falling. Thank you.
Give it up for Hillary. 1, 2, 3. Judges scores up. All right, we have an 8.4. We have an 8.8. And we have a 9.1. Give it up for Adrian, y'all. Give it up for Adrian.
How you doing, son? I'm not going to do it, obviously. If you guys were here last year, you might have heard me do this piece. Sorry. Who gonna stop me? Who gonna stop me, huh? Are you gonna stop me? Coming out here, doing my thing, getting in the ring, Showing you what I'm thinking, showing you how I feel, showing you I'm real, showing you I'm fresher than a prince named Will. Still, from head to toe and front to back, I drown myself inside this craft and meant that I can live forever. Top a shelf, or even better on a hard drive, but my real prize would have to be for me to be the first poet that comes to mind when you have to think of a line. For me to drop a line and one day find our newest heaven-sent president spent her days dreaming of my reverence, that my poems were the best that she had ever read. But I'd like to think something like that won't happen until I'm dead, until I've said all that I can and lost all motion within my hand. And you ain't gonna stop me. And I don't mean to be cocky, but not even Rocky could rock me and try to block me and stop me from my ascension. So, before rigor mortis sets in, let me end where I began. You won't stop me, who gonna stop me? Adrian Mohammed, a poet unknowing of his predestined glory.
Three, judges, put your scores up. All right, we have an 8.8. We have a 9.6. Give it up for Victor Rodriguez.
Is it? Yeah, right.
So I'm reading a new poem that I just chose last minute, right now, okay? Oh, that sweet aroma filling the air. Imagine a cloud of steam moving through the air and into the entrance of your nostrils, leaving you in a state of hypnosis. The fragrances of blueberries, bananas, chocolate, lemon, sugar, placing into the mind in a mind of trance. Only to want even more. More of what? Shit, you know what. Those delicious treats, pastries, cakes, whatever the fuck you want to call them. Or whatever they're classified as, really. Or as I like to call them, a little slice of warmth. With the instantaneous moment you bite into them, all you can think of is the flavor. The feel and the damn! Because you know, they're your muffins. They're my muffins. They're everybody's muffins. Nah, but really they're my muffins. Because, like you know, they got that mouth nice and moist to the point of explosion. So you know what? If you want some more, take me up to round 2 and you can give the rest.
Give it up for Victor. Give it up for Victor. Put your scores in the air. 1, 2, 3. Judges scores up. All right. Da-da-da. We have an 8.4. We have a 9.1. And we have a 9.4. And the final chord of the first round. Give it up for Iris. Give it up for Iris.
Writing poetry. Once upon a time, far away away. No, Iris. This is not a story. I was once a man. It's not quite right either. Get together, Iris. It's poetry slang. Poetry where roses are red and violets are blue. Upon a midnight so dreary, while I pondered weak and weary, where a raven perished and sad and nothing more, saying, nevermore. Damn it, Iris! Originality, wasn't that a given? Life comes to a point where you don't know where you belong. You've moved on to the future and it is still thinking of the past. Quite good, I have to say. You call that poetry? Those 2 lines. Expect more from you. The present is temporary, not a place for sustainability. yet you ignore the fact that you're still alone. Damn it, why is poetry so hard? Thank you.
Judges on the count of three, put your scores in the air. 1, 2, 3. Judges, put your scores up. All right, from low to high, we have an 8.7. We have an 8.9. We have a 9.3. Give us a round. You stepped up in the first round. You got the first round poets. We're going to take a cut. So there are going to be some poets cut, and we'll be moving on to the second round. And while that's happening, we're going to take a quick 5-minute break. So can we have the lights come up? 5-minute break. 5-minute break. Do not leave. Don't leave. We got some good shit, but we're taking a 5-minute break so we can check the scores out. Are the judges still here? Do we still have the 3 judges? Judges, put your scorecards just so I can see the 3 judges again. 1, 2, third judge. All right, 3 judges. All right. All right, here we go.
I know, right? When it goes out,
y'all ready to get started with the second round? We're going to go second and third round. We're going to go right through it. All right. Before we start the second round, we have another calibration part to get you back warmed up. So please put your hands together for Rachel, y'all. Give it up for Rachel.
Hi everyone, how's everyone doing? Okay, so my title of my poem is Vagina. I just wrote about vaginas because it's kind of relevant right now amongst my roommates on the second floor right there. Okay. Men think that women are never horny, but that's a fucking lie. We may be emotional at times we cry, but that doesn't mean our pussies don't get dry. Or should I say vagina? Vagina, 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 vagina. I want to take a look at your vagina. Speaking of vaginas, how many of you guys went to the vagina model? Well, here's mine and a few other women I know too. My name is Vagina, and I crave satisfaction too. It could be in different forms, and here's some to name a few. A dildo, a finger, a penis, a tongue, a vibrator, or even another vagina. Although I am not allowed to be open about my lips, these 2 lips that have much to say about the norms of society, the norms in which women are timid and hide their sexuality. But for all of you who follow that, change your mentality, because that is brutality, to hide how your body feels. Because them feels, they feel so good. And there's nothing wrong with that. Matter of fact, it's very healthy. During 30 minutes of sexual intercourse, the average person burns 200 calories. So do not be subjected to expressing yourself in fear of what others will say. Tell them it's your vagina, and you can do what you want, fuck off, and have a good day. And just want to say Happy Women's International Day, everyone.
Give it up for Rachel. Give it up for Rachel. 1, 2, 3. Judges, put your scores up. All right, from low to high, we have an 8.8. We have an 8.9. And we have a 10. So we go. First part of the second round. Please put your hands together for Adrian. Y'all give it up for Adrian.
Oh, dude, I was so hoping I was going first.
Hello? I don't like using mic stands. Is this better? Is this good? Sorry, this is going to change the mood a little bit. People come while others go. Lives have changed, remain the same. Exchange for diamonds, don't mind the mining. We do this all the time and we love it. I was once told that the alcohol that is sufficient for a whole town ought not intoxicate one man. The leech that does not let go even when it is filled dies on the dry land. When where we understand that just because we're human does not mean we get to ruin the womb of the woman that is the motherland. We fucked her up, down, over, and she didn't even come. We fucked her like missionaries and missionary with her hands tied, eye to eye, watched her cry, and she wanted us to die. You see? We didn't fuck her. We raped her. And a wound like that takes time to heal. But it's her time we choose to steal, and we waste it. So let's face it.
Face facts, brass tacks.
I don't have time to be African, black, or some other. We're all the same family, unified by one mother whose lover is the Holy Father. So let's do what they taught. Let's do what they taught us, and learn to love one another. Be the change you wish to see. Let us embody the beauty, majesty, and wonder that is the motherland, Africa.
Judge, put your scores up. All right, we have a 3.6. We have a 9.1. We have a 9.6, and we have a 9.8.
So this poem, can you guys hear me? Is this better? Okay, so this poem, I was going to save this one for the last one, but I'm just not going to hold on to it. So you guys enjoy. And this poem, it's really personal to me. It's something that I kind of personally struggle with. It's basically an identity, something with religion. I don't mean to offend anybody. If anything, I respect all religions. So this is just something that's of me. Is this me? How can I know that this is my name? A calling I received at birth, yet what I feel in my heart ain't the same. This path I walked was never what I expected. To have been brokenhearted, and now I feel accepted. But deep inside, my smile is upside down. The expectations of my loved ones weigh out my frown. But my identity becomes falsified as I feel locked to be who I am. Yet many say it is so easy, but through my eyes, you'll never understand. How to hide what's truly inside, just to be hidden from the rest. But in the end, it's my decision and what will express best. Regardless of what others may think of how I dress and what it means, I am still unable to submit myself just because others are confused with how that means. What feels so right makes me feel so wrong to do, but in my heart what matters is what my identity is true. To find who I am and to feel blessed that this is me, that in my eyes of others it's misunderstood, but to God it's my belief. The society that corrupts and decides on what we should be. You catch? And I said, what? In comparison to who you want to be? How could this world be so cruel to take my identity and change it to be up to you? What gave you that right to make it so right for me to surrender my faith just for your own sake, so I can bite my tongue in tears to say it's okay? Just for your pleasure and for your need, just for society can have its way to figure out what it wants me to be? How can I surrender something that won't be with me until the end, yet inside I lock my heart that is waiting to mend? And sometimes I question that maybe it's me who's afraid to submit, but before I step into this path, I want to make sure my decision's legit. To never go back and to only follow the path that I fell in love with, to submit my life and accept what I have. This is my reality, and that this is really me. Rather than to identify myself as someone that isn't up to me, rather the belief I had and the faith I found is something so precious. How was it I was so lost, but now I'm found? But still inside, society has a toll as I stand here expressing what's in my heart and my decisions on hold. Thank you.
Put your scores up. All right, from low to high, we have an 8.7. Woo! We have a 9.0. And we have a 9.5. Give it up for Carissa.
Good morning, class. My name is Mrs. Miller, and this is History 101. If you're in the wrong room, please see yourself out now. Right, well, let's begin. The Industrial Revolution began in 1760. Warehouses stuffed with human livestock, twisting knobs, pulling levers, workers just as interchangeable as the parts they produced. A machine they were. And when a piece of a machine breaks, someone new can just as easily twist those knobs and pull those levers too. After the revolution, there was public school. Children placed in rows, commanded by bells, just like their factory working fathers. Filling bubbles, writing papers. Moving from one class to another, like a walking assembly line. The meat on their bones reprocessed to fit a mold and feed the hungry economy. At best, students are comparable to show dogs, their intelligence measured by their ability to follow orders. At worst, they are nothing but computers, hardwired to be smart enough to fulfill their tasks, but dumb enough never to question them. Twisting, pulling, filling, writing. Our grandparents were the Ford Model T, and we are the next generation iPhone. When we raise our wilted hands, we're not asking how to make ourselves better. We're not asking how to make the world better. We're asking if this is going to be on Friday's midterm. We could change the system. We could. If only it were on the board-approved course curriculum. Class dismissed.
One, two, three. Judges. All right, from Rhode Island, we have a 9.1. We have a 9.7. 9.7. All right, next one to the stage. Give it up for Bizzle Man. Give it up.
Can you all hear me? Yeah. This one's pretty much about, I was afraid to do this at first, and I realized all along that I was fearless to begin with. So this one's titled, Fearless Man I Have to Be. Can you tell me what fearless means, because my past self never knew? He was always brought down, belittled. He was always brought down. And that heart-warming smile that was once well-renowned, yeah, it was destroyed without effort. All it took was the names and all the pathetic little games they played, insidiously leaving me alone, forcing my mind to explode. It ravished with anger, frustration, and most of all, the shedding of tears. And what continued to happen was the same old mockery, cast away as if I was some broken, obsolete machine. There was no help from the staff. I was created a monster, a lonely, cold-hearted man with a mask, always singled out, frustrated on the inside. But then I found fearlessness, embodied in my true friend. She showed me life, the greatness I had, that there was no quick end. Showed me all I had. I now had a friend. She threw all her popularity to make sure I was okay, that I was me. She defined fearless and showed me the meaning to be who I am today. I became cunning and daring, this being my potential. I am determined and caring, a heart I acquired. I was given the chance to breathe. I was given a chance for in myself to believe. I became determined to chase something I need, a dream. It doesn't matter how, but I'm fearless enough now. I'll be willing to take a bullet for my friends like the girl did by taking care of me. So I stood on my own and became my own being. I was now made of iron. Mockery could not break my armor. Eventually they feared me with the utmost envy. Yet I still ask myself, although it all ended, the past would be way. The example to give to the fearless man that ought to be is the fearlessness that became me.
Alright, that was Invisible Man. Judges, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Judge scores up. Alright, we have a 9.2. We have another 9.2. We have a 9.4. Give it up for Invisible Man. Give it up for Grant. Give it up for Grant.
All right. Okay, so this poem is called My Name's Grant, I'm 22 years old, and I actually just realized what empathy was. It's not useless. My friends told me I should try on other people's shoes, try and see things from a different perspective. And I thought about it and said, okay, so I turned on Cartoon Network. And I was a big lanky-ass dog, and I was stretching over the entire earth. I had to save it from asteroids. But while I was stretching, I looked down, and I looked at the forest, and I could see children playing, and I could see parents having picnics, and for the first time, I realized the relationship between humanity and nature. But right before these asteroids hit me, the power went out, and I was back on my couch, and I was out of the magic. But I wanted to get back in. I heard some noises through my window, so I went outside, and I was stealing my own car just to sell it to buy my kids some toys because I spent my paychecks on drugs. You see, the streets don't teach me fiscal responsibility. And next, the magic didn't stop. I was walking down the street at night. I was walking down the block, and people fearfully moved to the other side just because I'm African American. And people told me that racism was over. My school told me racism was over. Next thing I know, I'm a beautiful woman and every other car is whistling at me. And I feel ashamed. And the next thing I know, I'm abroad, I'm across seas, I'm in Africa, and I'm in the bush. And I was beaten and raped because I forgot to fill my bucket of water before sundown. And I blamed myself and my parents yelled at me. And then I was tortured as a journalist who just wanted some change, but the only thing that changed was my bone structure from governmental beatings. I blamed myself. Then I was with my boyfriend, and on the way to lunch, a young man came up to me and said, "Fuck you, faggots. God should have aborted you." He spit right in my eyes, and we went home, we cried, and we blamed ourselves. Then I was walking outside the clinic. I gave up my only child because I couldn't give it the life it deserved. Because I wasn't ready when all I wanted to be was ready. They called me a murderer. They said I was free of God. Then I was God, and I couldn't breathe. My people couldn't feed themselves. I couldn't breathe into them. They kept killing each other. They kept telling me at night, "Dad, you gave up. You said we're all too different. We can't settle anything. Why did you create us like this?" And at the end, I took my shoes off because I couldn't do it anymore. And I said, "I'm done. But for the rest of the world, you go." Thank you.
One, two, three. Judge, put your scores up. All right. We have a 9.4. We have a 9.8. And we have a 10. Final poem in the second round. Put your hands together for Shelby. Give it up for Shelby.
Oh, that? What? Hey, girl. No, you. All I can do is run. You can't make it move. Okay, that was my piece. So, you want to know me better? Like we're all on some kind of massive group date? Well then, stay seated and allow me to relate all that has created my current state at a somewhat rapid rate. Four brothers, father, and a mother who loved their kids but hated each other. And then, when I was 5 years old, I found a rich best friend and lost my soul. Mean girl style. I was shallow as shit, but I used weed to pull myself out of it. My goals were having sex and getting stoned, because being used is better than being alone. Yeah, I've done plenty of things to earn my shame, but I've done nothing new. Just the same damn thing that silly little girls will do, until we, as their mothers, break through that ever-shrinking glass ceiling and teach our kids that thinking and feeling are universal and beautiful things to do. They'll know greater freedom and peace than we ever knew. And you and I, we can transform together. We'll change our world faster than we changed our weather. Even if it seems to not get better, as if we're doomed to rot like cheddar cheese. I'll take a stand on my knees and implore you to please have faith in yourself, in God, or in me, or whatever belief allows you to see the love in your world, see the good you've achieved, see that humanity's crimes can and will be reprieved. Now I know to some, optimism is synonymous with stupidity, and I'm very possibly just fooling myself. But the truth is, hope is as good as anything else to keep us moving and to keep us sane. Hope will give us the strength we need to make things change.
That was Shelby. Give it up for Shelby one more time. 1, 2, 3. Just put your scores up. We have a 9.0. We have a 9.5. We have a 9.7. Give it up for Shelby one more time. That concludes the second round. And give it up for the scorekeeper. Give it up for the scorekeeper. You already know who the 3 points moving on to the final round are. Okay, Grant.
Adrian.
And Carissa. Alright, I need a piece of paper so I can crumple it up. They're each going to redraw for the final round. Alright, here, can I have your pen? I'll give you a pen back. Alright, can I have the 3 poets moving on to this final round to come up here?
You know the paying for cash, right? You know it's a slam. Yeah. And it's $200 for first place.
Yeah!
Second place is $100. And third place is $50. Here we go. Dun, dun, dun.
I did a real good crumple. I did some really good crumples.
Number 1.
There we go. Alright. So y'all can sit down. You don't even have to say what number you are. Just when it's your turn, you just come. So keep, Grant, you can't go anywhere. You're right here. This is all you. No, you know what? We'll give you a chance. Go listen. So we know Grant is first, but before we start this third round, we have to get one last calibration pulled up on stage. So please, put your hands together for Rihanna. Give it up.
How you doing tonight? I love you! I love you more. Sorry. You guys having fun tonight? Yeah! Alright. Can I get like a hand count of anyone who's ever been in a distance relationship?
Oh my.
Hey, let's give it up, man. Distance is hard work. So last semester I actually went abroad and I did do distance. P.S. If you want to go abroad, you should definitely go. Go abroad. So here's one of your typical corny distance songs for my baby. Alright. I didn't make a joke yet. Distance. Baby. It's hard because I want to love you at 3 a.m. when you're half asleep and roll recklessly into my arms, your head against my chest, hearing my heartbeat whisper to you words that I'll never be able to express. You know, I heard a quote the other day. If you only think about them at night, it's not love. But it's 11:30 a.m. and I've been thinking about you since breakfast. And at 4 in the afternoon, I'll still be thinking of you and what I'll make for dinner tonight for us two, if you were here.
I'd buy you flowers and light candles just because you're an occasion. So I'll let the miles be an equation, keeping in mind you're my salvation. I want to be your greatest sedation when we're able to look across the room and still have a full conversation when our eyes meet. Apparently there's a crowd full of people, but you're the only one I see. If you were here, I would protect you like a security man guards a club. A drug dealer protects his drugs. The ground is protected by rugs. And if anyone dares to try to step on you or hurt you, I will sweep them off their feet nearly as fast as you swept me off mine. That was my favorite line. Well, that and all those times that you were here. So for now, I'll look forward to having you on Christmas and Valentine's Day. I'll look forward to having you on Wednesdays. I'll look forward to days that I get to have you that end in Y. They ask me, are you okay with just texting? Why are you okay with phone calls? Why do you do distance? And that's funny to me because I don't do distance. I do love. I do 8-hour time zones, 300-mile roads, kisses so close that the only distance you can taste is the space that we leave when we break to say, I love you, baby. I love you. Thank you.
Where'd you go? Where'd you go?
Where'd I go? I went to England and I traveled all through Europe every weekend.
Where'd you meet the person?
Where'd I meet them? Oh, back at home in North County.
Oh shit, okay. When you said bro, I thought you still had that kind of long distance love shit. Oh, this ain't that crazy. Okay. You said 8-hour time zone, that shit was crazy. Damn, that's some super shit, because I would have been like, alright. Judges on the count of 3, put your scores in the air. 1, 2, 3, judges scores up. Alright, we have a 9.5, we have a 9.7, and we have a 9.9. So come on, let's put that down, put that together for Grant. Come on, Grant!
So, I guess like even my friends, like I usually don't talk about like one thing. There's one thing I never talk about, and so I don't know. I was just thinking of a poem I could write like to wrap this all up, and I figured this would be a good one. I thought of it while I was fixing a vacuum. A Dyson. It was amazing. The easiest piece of equipment in the world. The title is Schizophrenia. Mom, yeah, right. Mom, I wish I could fix you like a Dyson vacuum. I wish you were this easily disassembled. I wish Dyson Steve from YouTube had instructional videos of the inner working clockwork of your brain. I wish he had a step-by-step, a how-to to make you stop thinking that the radio tower by your house is something that the government placed there to transmit sound waves and make you sick. I wish I could transmit my brain waves to make you better. My favorite dreams, my friends and I shrink down to pea size and drive the magic school bus into your mouth where we sing songs about the value of education. We fight brain cavity creeps and combat them on every surface of your thoughts. And Mom, there I see how much you love me for real, because every other one of your thoughts holds the letters of my name. We defeat the king creep by the power of knowledge and friendship, and we tie him up and put him in a bag and take him to brain jail, Mom. In my dreams, you are safe forever because nobody fucking escapes from brain jail. Do you remember when I was little? I would cry over almost everything. Of course you do. You were never mad at me. All of my tears made sense to you. It's so hard now. I feel crazy. I can't cry. Even the handcuffs around your wrist don't face me. Even when you tell me I'm not your son, Mom. Maybe I'm not anymore. Mom, if I could give you one thing, it wouldn't even be sanity. I don't mind if you think the real me is hostage on a fishing boat in the Gulf of Mexico or underground on the moon or wherever. That's not the problem, shit. That makes things interesting sometimes. If I could give you one thing, it would be for you to know that I just love you. That's it. It will be for you to know that I understand how hard it is to raise 2 children reaching through another reality. Mom, when I see you now, I'm older. I feel your guilt, like a black tar in heat over the most beautiful meadow. I feel your regret bubbling like lost ray, like you don't know how beautiful you are, like there is a program inside your mind that repeatedly runs code to crash your system. You beat yourself up like your brain gave you more than one option, Mom. As if all the possibilities were endless. All that was endless was the frustration from others, like the psychiatrist really had all the answers to all of our questions in one conveniently marketed pill bottle. You never believed in that shit, and I still don't. You're the only real crazy hippie lady I know. I love nature because of you, Mom. I'm 2 months away from having a degree in that shit because of the way you raised me, Mom. You're my hero. You stretch out dollars like they're made of Mr. Fantastic. I miss the smell of Tiger's balm on my chest. I miss your voice in my ear. I miss traveling with you in a big puffy coat on the backpack you carried me in. The crunch of your feet on the bank of every river, Mom. Everyone tells me you're broken, but you make sense to me. Like my sister is anything else but gold because of you. Like the genes you gave us are actually damaged, Mom. Fuck science. You gave us so much. Like it's just a coincidence we both turned out so intelligent and beautiful. Like I cared about the 10% chance of me getting this disease, Mom. If I could just I just want you to be reborn as a lion. So you can finally have the pride you deserve, Mom. I love you more than anything. And when you see me through those clouded eyes, I hope that at least gets through. Thank you.
Judge, put your scores up. Oh, shit. We have a 9.9. We have a 10. We have a 10. Second call from up the stage is... There you go. I think it's him. Give it up for Adrian.
What? That was amazing. Thank you for going forward, because this is nothing like that. So the title of this poem is I'm Not a Love Poet, and it's because Sold Out Poetry Jam this year, Rudy Francisco came. Shout outs to Rudy. He had a poem about how he's not a love poet and he's really awesome at poetry, so I was like, yo, I should try this. So here it is. I'm not a love poet. In fact, I'm barely a poet. I swear my poems probably show it because they're centered on me, never we and rarely you, which doesn't make sense because although my mind's messier than my room, your picture is plastered on every wall in my psyche. Daily and nightly, I try to recite the images that swim around inside me, but I'm at a loss for words. So let me see if I can describe it. First, your eyes are really lightning, because they hide a sky of light and pierce my soul like they're lightning. No breeze, but they're electrifying. They sing to me the story of your mind, a deep and cavernous history of blues, purples, and pink, some yellow, a little red, but that's all in my head. You see, your mind is probably flowers, or floral, colored pastoral like a sunset, slowly glowing a smoldering hint of orange. Your lips tenderly rest each and every thought being shot out of whirlwind speeds past the reaches of infinity. Heavenly is the voice of my love, the voice of my angel, the voice of Jessica.
Alright, that was Adrian. Judge, we're on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Judge, put your scores up. We have a 9.3. A 9.4, and a 9.7. Alright, boy, put your hands together for Carissa. Give it up for Carissa.
I just want to start by saying that all these posts today were really good, and I'm really honored to be up here. I lost my virginity in a pair of green and brown Argyle socks. Just a pair of green and brown Argyle socks. It wasn't because my feet were particularly cold that night, or because he or I had any sort of strange sock fetish. I just suppose that on his list of clothes to remove from my body, the socks were lowly prioritized, and eventually forgotten. I feel him shift tiredly at my side. His movements draw me in toward where the old mattress curves his form. My body no longer has a dent of its own. Instead, I lay lamely along the edge of his depression sheets and springs. When I blink, it's like the night times of my youth. When I find myself the only kid still awake at the slumber party, wanting more than anything to call home to Mom, to tell her I felt like a stranger in this bed. These were not my Barbie sheets. The glow-in-the-dark star-shaped stickers on the roof are formed in a constellation unfamiliar to me. What would Ma say then? She'd tell me to hold tight to my favorite teddy bear. I still have that teddy bear, still sleep with it some nights. I want to turn to the grown man next to me and remind him that he just fucked a girl that still sleeps with her favorite teddy bear. Mom used to say, the only thing worse than being a whore is being an unpaid whore. She'd ask, who's going to buy the cow when they can get the milk for free? Oh my God, I am an unpaid milky cow whore. But what other choice did I have? It was either whore or prude. Whore, prude, slut, cunt, sin. And in the English language decide that the best way to insult a woman is by referencing her sexual past. And I know that the Venn diagram of people who will judge me based on sexual preference and people I do not want to be around is one big fat circle. But that doesn't stop me from acknowledging that you only find me pretty from an aerial view. That doesn't stop me from becoming a candle, burning just to keep you warm. Because now I'm bare, except for a pair of green and brown Argyle socks. Just a pair of green and brown Argyle socks. But oh, how appropriate. The funny thing about me and socks is that we're both objects made for someone to slip their body parts inside of. I wrap my arms around myself, imagining where my teddy would be. And maybe if we had taken the time to stop and remove those green and brown Argyle socks, I might have realized that I had cold feet after all. Thank you.
Three, just put your scores up. Alright, we have a 9.7, a 9.8, and a 10. Give it up for all the poets who stepped up on stage. Give it up for all the poets. And while we work out the scores, do you mind if I do some poems?
So, about what? All right.
Give it up for him.
So, my name is Sheehan, and I'm a full-time poet. I've been living off my poetry since '97. This is my full-time job. I take care of my wife and our 3 children doing this. And I appreciate it. And I appreciate also hearing everybody's stories, so thank you again for reading. And here we go. If you have questions, comments, concerns in between poems, feel free to wave me down and ask. Because the thing about being a performer, as wonderful as it is to be able to be given the opportunity to perform places, the thing is, you'll know so much more about me by the time I'm finished, and I'll know nothing more about the audience I just performed for. So sometimes your questions help me decide what direction you might want me to go in, as well as what you might like to hear. So, here we go. I was born with a drum on the inside of my chest, beating the inner line of my rib cage, coloring my spirit with such a passion I'm forced to exhale a sigh, so uninhibited, released from a truth found so deep within my spine, shivers as it brushed with death. I kid you not, and I'm humbled by its presence. See, another alphabet is the blood that fills these veins. Cut me, and I'll bleed scripture. A misunderstood martyr, slang in today's proverbs because we're all cliche, so try not to hide behind your eyelids because your ears will still see clarity. And these poems continue to be written with the phantom hand. I'm nothing but a marionette, dancing the puppeteer's dance, and untrained ballerina. I tip my toe, see, black over the lifetime balancing act, walking balance me between black and human, from black, blue, black to high yellow. So don't tell me the color of my pain when you don't even know my real first name. And see, my mother tells me I'm a gift when it comes to this writing stuff, but I'm left-handed. So I guess I write words with the wrong hands, with the right message, with the wrong people, and I swear I will talk myself to death if I don't find salvation soon. At least 2 good ears I will hear my problems. And forgive me, Lord, but I came to the realization early in life that I did not need religion to make me feel any worse about myself. But don't get me wrong, I am thankful. I'm thankful for being blessed with a father whose conscience was comfortable with violence, and a mother who decided to spread her wings and fly herself into the armed forces before her first and only child could turn 6. And I am lost, and I am searching for guidance. And I do pray. I pray my daughter be more confident in who she is and how much she has than I was. And I pray for a new heart with understanding, because my heart does not wear a watch, has no concept of time, and my recovery time is based on understanding, but I still don't understand. And I pray, and I pray. I pray you fill those generation gaps with more understanding, because I can see the slave of those young generations who rather be dissing pyramids while praising projects, and I tell them I would sacrifice the I in me to get the slave out of you, but they don't hear me. And I'm running out of time, but I live in a time obsessed with living another time, so no one ever knows what time it is. So now, my shoulder blades are starting to poke out the backs of my t-shirts. Looks a lot like I'm growing wings. But really, I'm struggling to carry the weight of these words. And way too much, my words way too much. So I hope I've said enough for you. And if I have, then how much better would this poem be if I got mad right now? And how much more would this poem affect you if I got sad right now and started to cry? Or better yet, would you still cry if I broadened your eyes? Or would you still dream if no one inspired you? I ask you these questions because I love you. And on my deathbed, you can catch me at a mic and dim lights with 1 No. 2 pencil, writing my last verse. And my mother will say, boy, don't you know you go blind writing in the dark like that? And I'll say, Mom, you'd be glad to know that if I were to go blind writing, the last thing I saw before total darkness was truth. Thank you. So I don't know how often the open mic there are, how many open mics there are on campus that go on, but you know, people go to them. You notice a lot of poets have poems that like have numbers. So it's like everything's numbered. So like 1, I went to the store. 2, I bought some. 3, I ate it. 4, it was yours. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't have any of those, so I decided to use the right one. So this is my list of shit. My list of shit. 1, I'm difficult to get to know, but only because I'm cautious of your intentions. 2, I love my family. 3, I love going to the movies. 4, my father's father OD'd in a movie theater after surviving 2 torpedo warships, including the USS Dorchester, in which he was one of 223 survivors on a ship carrying more than 900. All of his friends drowned that day. 5, I learned to swim at an early age. I competed on several swim teams, and my favorite stroke was the breaststroke. Hello. 6, my father is a dragon. 7, my favorite Disney film growing up was Pete's Dragon. 8, my best friend growing up was the son of a pastor. My fear of God started there. 9, the birthplace of my writing was the night my best friend OD'd while filming a commercial in downtown Los Angeles. I never heard of someone going through withdrawals before then. I could feel the noose slightly tightening around my throat as I jumped from the safety of my childhood into the severely tattered future of my adulthood. 10, I don't drink or smoke. 11, my grandmother's mother died of tuberculosis before they had a vaccine for it. 12, I sat in the recruitment center on Times Square while my mother signed papers to leave me behind. I had no way to prevent it. 13, I was told when asked how my mother could leave her only child behind, she replied, I had to do what's best for me. Years later, I imagine she's made peace with her decision, and I can be selfish sometimes. 14, I've been searching for that word that best describes the unspoken acknowledgement between 2 people when they just get it. 15, I love naturally arched eyebrows on girls who not only look like they can fight, but can fight. 16, people with underdeveloped calves scare me. 17, I had my first girlfriend at 17. I met her while working a coat check at an 18 and under club. I never cheated on her, and we are friends to this day. 18, I'm loyal to a fault. Sometimes. 19, I would fight for you if you only let me. 20, my favorite scene in Magnolia is when it began to rain frogs. The second plague I've ever experienced was vulnerability in the presence of predators. 21, my favorite musicals in no particular order are Popeye, Grease, Little Shop of Horrors, and The Wiz. 22, my favorite color is gray, and I hate when people say gray isn't really a color. 23, I have a tendency to over-explain things. 24, I use the delete button too often. 25, my mind never forgets. 26, I trust people who can laugh uncontrollably in the presence of strangers. That is vulnerability to me. 27, I don't believe vulnerability has anything to do with being raw. 28, I'm uncomfortable when given compliments. 29, I've slowly come to terms with my purpose and the pain it will cause some of the people I love most. 30, I'm lactose intolerant. 31, I love Haagen-Dazs vanilla Swiss almond ice cream. 32, I make sacrifices for the things I love. 33, one time, I thought I had the monster. After going to see Rebel, my sister on Broadway, went to sleep, had a dream, woke up, told the girl she got scary, I got tested. Everything was cool, but we broke up after that. 34, I judge the strength of my friendships by who I want around me when things get the most difficult. 35, my wife really is my best friend. 36, I look like my father when I sneeze. 37, when I speak of my mother, there are 3 women I'm referring to. 1, my biological mother, Milagros Tirado. 2, my grandmother, Doris Van Cleef. And 3, the most loving mother I ever met, my best friend's mom growing up, Christina Delcam, to be continued. Here we go. These are a couple of short pieces in between my wife and my daughter, and here we go. My wife. The first time I saw her smile, I woke up and had to write down what it did to me. The last time I cried, she put her hands on me like a forgiving prayer, and the alchemy of her heart made me smile, a new reason to love her. For my daughter. On my daughter's 13th birthday, I will present her with a knife. She will use with a smile on boys who think they'll prove themselves men by whispering silly words and expect something in return. She will have already been exposed to these words, and they'll be surprised by the something they get in return. It will be sharper than the wit they believe they possess, and more blunt than the force of one's fist. Her heart is not a plaything. Her body is not for the amateur explorer looking for new territory to claim. She won't be fooled by the shiny pretty things or wolf in grandma's clothing. She has a father who is a poet, and that makes her impossible to predict. Her arms will probably hold you close, but do not find comfort in them, because she is filling you out. The nerves of a man with no conscience can be felt in the reluctance of their embrace. Believe me when I tell you, she is more than you bargained for, and will take years to decipher. She is the greatest puzzle you will ever try to gauge. It's for my daughter. Lonnie, meeting your mother was my undoing. The day you were conceived, there was a shift in the way the universe shone its light. Your mother became the focal point of its vibrancy, like a daytime spotlight that followed her around everywhere we went. When my magic no longer impresses you, the magic you make will be my pride. You know, you remind me of my best days. The smile you supernova, I am so proud of you. I think I was about 5, the last time I heard my mother tell me how proud she was of me. And that's why I remind you every day of how proud I am, and how one day you will grow up to change the world. For my wife. Trying to write poetry while your wife lays in bed next to you, watching Scandal on her iPad or reading a book is a big-ass mistake. In the 13 years we've been together, she has only gotten better. I feel like I'm in heat, trying to exercise my self-restraint after the 1000th rep. I'm tired, and I want to touch her forever. I want to make the new music she dances to. Beyond my good conversations, sometimes I just want to talk with my body and let her know how much I want to her. Sometimes I feel guilty for what my mind thinks, but happy it still thinks like that. It's hard to control myself when you just lay there like that, reading a book. What do you expect me to do? You act like you know what you're doing, or that I'm the one with the problem, and maybe I am. But what would be so wrong with that? See, I see old couples who I know have lost that feeling of filling or giving filling to their partner, and I just want to make sure all of my parts work as long as they can. I feel like that kid whose parents hang their Christmas presents over their beds 3 weeks early, knowing the temptation will only drive them crazy. Believe me when I tell you. And if you don't understand what I'm saying, come a little closer and let me show you what I really mean.
Yes.
How old is your daughter?
My daughter's 11. Huh? Oh, I bought her all sorts of shit. She's as soon as her birthday, I'm like, here's your box of shit. So yeah. Any other questions? Any random? They don't have to be poetry questions. It can be random shit. No? Okay. My shoe size is 10. Yes, please.
You've been writing poetry for so long. How do you not lose ideas? How do you not run out of ideas?
Because luckily, I try to experience them all the time. And having a family, having friends, I'm inspired by the people I'm surrounded by. So it's a lot easier than I thought it would be. Like for a while, I was like, I don't know where the ideas can come from, but every day there's something. You know what I mean? Like today, I started writing, so it's not done yet, so I'm not going to read it, but I was on this train today. I took the train up here, and this dude sat next to me, and he farted, right? And then he looked at me like I did it. Like he was gonna Jedi mind trick me into thinking my ass did that, and I was like, no, that was your ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that was just inspiring. I was like, you trying to fool me? Doesn't work. So, yeah, there's always something. So, yes, please.
What do you consider to be your best poem?
Ooh, shit. I don't know if I've written what I feel is my best. One of my favorite pieces to do is a free write I wrote. But in general, I feel like there's still stories to be told, and there's still things that I'm going to experience that will change what my outlook on what I think is good. You know what I mean? Like, I look at stuff that I wrote when I was younger, and I was like, oh God, this is terrible. But, you know, some people just have certain feelings about it. So, you know, art, the thing about art is, any inspiring art is, the thing about art is, art's always dependent on somebody else liking it if you want to make it a career. It has nothing to do with how good I think it is, because if someone else don't think anything of it, then it doesn't mean shit, really. You know what I mean? So that's something I learned kind of early in art, and I'm kind of grateful for that. But yeah, like I wrote a piece, and it was actually, I wrote this thing when I was on Def Poetry called Sick and Tired, right? And it was a list. And basically I wrote that in response to an argument I had with Mos Def about one of my poems that he had a problem with. And I read it one time on Def Poetry, I never read it again. But people to this day still go, yo, can you do that poem? It's like, it was for that moment only, you know what I mean? So that's the thing, like, things change how you feel, so. Yes, please.
Have you ever gotten a negative reaction to your poem, The Option Network?
Oh, yes. I stopped doing that poem for years. I stopped doing it for years. I remember the moment, too, when I stopped doing it. I was at Dartmouth College. And the auditorium was filled with like 1,100 students. And I was doing the poem. First of all, you know, the other population, like the minority population, Dartmouth's like 2%, right? So anyway, I'm doing the poem, and there's like 7 kids of color, right? I'm doing the poem, and everyone's laughing. And in my head, I was like, it's not funny what I'm saying. You know, and I stopped doing it, and then I wound up going to New Zealand for the first time when I went to New Zealand. And I was hanging out with Maori, right? There was like 8 or 9 of us at this festival, and these girls walked by, and the dude looks at me, and he's like, she looks good, huh? And I was like, yeah, she looks good. He's like, she got a big ass, huh? I was like, yep, she got a big ass. And he's like, that's how niggas like, right? I was like, well, no. And I got this big discussion. And I got a big discussion with him. What you realize is outside of this country is that we're imported and exported as entertainment. So what people see on TV and hear on the radio is what they expect us to be, you know? So we need to be more responsible with the shit we put out there. And it sounds real cliche to say like words are powerful, watch what you say. But I'm also a firm believer that the worst thing in the world is an ignorant person with a strong opinion because they can fuck up so many things. You know what I mean? And so I started doing the poem again. And so, but I had, you know, personal things with that poem. And then I saw you, yes.
So you had an argument with Mos Def?
Yes. I had a project that I was working on called Music is the New Cotton. And he had an issue with me saying that. He's like, how could you compare music to slavery and, you know, they're not slaves, blah, blah, blah. And I go, you don't have to be, the industry doesn't have to make a slave out of the artist for them to be slaves to something. And I said, and he goes, well, what about people like Miles Davis or Billie Holiday? What about them? You saying they're slaves? And I was like, they were all drug addicts, so they were slaves to something. You know what I'm saying? So we got this argument about that.
And so I wound up writing a sick guitar because of that. So that's what that was for. Yeah, please.
How do you feel about New Slaves by Kanye?
I mean, I thought the project was kind of whatever. There's some cuts on there that I liked, but overall, it was kind of whatever on there. Because I think there's certain people that are good for the argument, and some people aren't. You know, like it's, when I hear Bill Cosby, I'll give you a random example. It's like Bill Cosby talking about being good fathers. Where the good fathers at? Then you find out he fathered these kids out of wedlock. That's not his argument. He can't tell me how to be a father when he was fucking cheating. You know what I'm saying? The same thing with Michael Jackson talking about artists aren't really paid properly. You billionaire. You clearly cannot be that person. You know what I'm saying? So him talking about some of those things, like, you're not that person for that argument. Like, I can get it, but that's not, I can't take that from you. You know, it's like Dead Prez, right? I did some events with Dead Prez, and they were like, yeah, I gotta, anybody have some weed? And I was like, well, I would smoke. And they're like, yeah, I need to get good before I go out. And I'm like, really? You have to get fucked up before you go out and speak? Like, I can't talk about this with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's something about consistency that is super important to me. As a person of color, and as a person in general, because we live in a country where people are so comfortable with half-ass and inconsistency, and that's why shit's so fucked up. Because the bar's been lowered, and no one aspires to do shit because they're being force-fed shit, like chocolate-covered shit, and it just tastes good. You know, so they need to try. And it's a shame, because I was just in Atlanta, and they were talking about, I was in a panel, and they had these professors and theologians talking about they were trying to create, they were going to write a hip-hop Bible. Like a Bible in hip-hop terms. So people who don't normally read the Bible will read the Bible. I thought that was the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Because if you keep lowering the standard, what the fuck are people going to try to do? You know what I'm saying? And then I'm super about how we're viewed. You know, not to say other people don't have issues, but people of color, when I realize like how big of an impact media plays in what we do, it's super important for us to have consistency in what we're presenting, you know? And so I was at a panel in Aspen, Colorado, and they were talking about diversity on television. And it was like the head of ABC, NBC, CBS, TNT, Time Warner, Russell Simmons, and me, right? I'm like a random motherfucker that does not have a conglomerate, you know what I'm saying? And the entire time they're all saying there's enough diversity on television. I'm sitting there going, what fucking TV are you watching? And they go, well, there are 500 channels. If you want to see your face, you can turn on the station and see your face. I go, most people don't have 500 channels. Most people have the channels on this panel. You know what I'm saying? And I go, I'll give you an example. You think there's enough diversity? This is a couple years ago now. I said, give me a Latino on television. And the dude goes, Eva Longoria. And I go, and she's playing a sexually frustrated stereotype. Give me an Asian on television. Dude from ABC, the head of ABC goes, the dude on Lost, right? I go, what's his name? He says, and I go, and you pay his paycheck and don't know his name. That's a problem. Not to take opportunity from anybody else, but there needs to be some reality played out on what it is. You know what I'm saying? I didn't watch Friends or like Seinfeld because I'm from New York, born and raised, and population-wise, white is the minority. So to have two shows that are so highly rated, being in New York and not one black motherfucker in the background like, you know what I'm saying? So that's important to me. So that's why I kind of like, it's important to have stuff that's very consistent. That's why I talk about that. And also, you know, when I perform, I try to talk about being a father and a husband often, and being a brother and a person of vulnerability, because we don't get to see that example. You know, and also the way we raise our kids in this country. Clearly we raise them differently, boys and girls differently, and we raise our boys and we beat that out of them. We beat the vulnerability out of them. Don't cry, that's what girls do. Don't do that, don't do that. Then they get older and get in relationships and don't know how to connect emotionally, and then they're faulted for it. And that's our fault. You know what I'm saying? So it's super important for me to talk about those things and explain that, because it's something that needs to be said. You know? So that was way beyond your shit. This is a poem about expectations written in two parts for my son, my daughter, and my sister. And first part's for boys, second part for girls. And here we go. That's like old shit. It was like, calm down. Pretty bad. We're the forgotten children of the future. Sitting in our lonely cubicles, hypnotized by the sound of fingers, typing away at our vibrancy of 60 words per minute. Comfortable in our pre-selected cookie-cutter existences, stagnant, trying to break out of boxes we place ourselves in. Lives live within the box. We're the scribbles of our parents' expectations, minus our dreams, multiplied by the opinions of others, racing to fit in while our time is slowly running out, rebooting into a fragile existence that continues to call us out like you. You were going to play football in high school, remember your high school sweetheart, have 2.5 kids, name your dog, Snowball. You were being happy with the life chosen for you, but will know no way out of it. You will stay up late night thinking your old phone is wondering how things went wrong. You, a father, husband, lover, son, part-time financial advisor, stressing over past due bills. You will have so many roles, a breakdown will seem inevitable. And 1, 2, 3. You will be that 1 in 3 black men who will end up dead or in jail by age 25. You will lose your first fight against a girl, and the frustration you feel will be placed on the face of a future ex-girlfriend. You will like ballet, you will be made fun of for it, and of course, your favorite color will be blue. But really, all these options have been narrowed down and placed in front of you, or choices you're not really making. Manly men who really want to cry, secretly yearning for mommy's touch, only means you haven't truly connected with your feminine side. The roles of life are hard enough without the preconceived notions of the highly opinionated. The past has delivered a future, and you must decide how to shape it. Part 2. And I say to my daughter, after watching Princess and the Frog, love doesn't really happen like that. Love is more than the expectations we place on it, or the storybook endings we see in Disney fairy tales. Love is knowing the pieces don't always fit. It's learning from your mistakes, but never feeling sorry for yourself, because inevitably, lost smiles will find new homes with new lovers. And friendships will always help heal wounds left behind. So you're only as beautiful as you allow yourself to be. So don't get caught up in the roles you've been chosen to play, or you just become another actress like you. You love to dance and remember to your favorite songs while everyone is watching. You will grow up to be the prom queen, marry captain of the football team, have 2.5 kids, name your cat Dinky. You'll become a stay-at-home mom. Your opinion will not be considered. You represent the 2 in 10 women who will not be physically abused by the time you turn 21. You, a mother, sister, daughter, firewoman who sleeps around, will be the victim of a double standard never applied to men. You will do the job twice as good as the man you're qualified to replace, but be overlooked because your will is too strong. You be called names for knowing what you want. You're the only thing on this planet that can create life, and you'll never be thanked for it. You are a super shero whose strength lies in the recognition of her worth, and of course, your favorite color will be pink. The choices we make will be the blueprints of the people we'll become. No one can smile for you. You got to do that for yourself. You need to realize your flaws are what makes you perfect. Plus, too much perfection is a mistake anyway. And no matter what they want you to be, you will always have a choice. So who will you choose to be?
Any writers in here like write some stuff and then you forget about it and you find it like years later, you're like, oh shit, I'm crazy. This is, I normally don't give like context to a lot of my shit, but this I have to. So I graduated high school at 16, which kind of explains my second semester in college. So here we go.
This is called second semester. It's a letter I found that I had written to my mom that I never sent. So here we go. It's called second semester, or it's called financial aid. Not too bad your parents make too much to qualify for it, but not enough to pay for it. And the case of the co-ed dorm roommates, aka the letter to my mom that never made it home. Dear Mom, you know co-ed dorm sounded cool until I got stuck with these roommates. See, one of them smells like yesterday, every day. And the other has been borrowing my shit ever since she moved in. You know, I put post-it notes on all my things. They say, stop touching my stuff. But they don't care. And what's up with the RA? Always organizing trips to the zoo or to the movies. I'm not 6. I have student loans I have to worry about. Why don't they set up a trip to Cancun or Miami? I need a getaway, not an educational trip. That's what I go to classes for. Try showing me what my money's going to. And since I'm bringing up money, do you realize how difficult it is to live off what you guys deposit into my account while carrying a full load of classes? I become the Wolfgang Puck of Top Ramen. I make this baked ramen plate, which is a half a packet of beef seasoning, and then use the other half to make the specialty soup, which I serve on the side with some leftover breadsticks my roommate took from the dining hall. And thanks to this new diet, I've gained 15 pounds, and I have body issues. Oh, and another thing, I was looking at my loan statement. You know, by the time I graduate, I'll have over $100,000 in student loans I have to begin paying back right away. I'm not even guaranteed a job. Most things that cost that much come with a warranty. So later this semester, I'm going to propose that all college degrees come with a guarantee of employment, stating that if I can't find a job within 3 months after I graduate, I get my money back, or my bills are taken care of until I found one. What you think about that? And the dollar shit don't count either. If not, I'm thinking litigation is the next step. Plus, I think I can win on the grounds of false advertising. Because this is what the brochure looked like. There were wild animals running around here. A squirrel and a duck is all I saw. No one said shit about a deer or a moose or that alligator that sat in front of the library and shut everything down until animal services came. Have you ever seen a real moose? They're not cute. They're humongous. They jump through people's fences and into their yards. And raccoons, you know, they steal shit. We are from the city, and I wasn't expecting this. Oh yeah, I want to have school spirit, but all of our teams suck. And I was interested in studying abroad, but now I'm not sure. See, last semester, my roommate's sister studied abroad because she wanted to find herself, and she came back bald-headed. Now he's going, I'm confused. I don't know who to talk to. See, they originally sold me on the idea of diversity. But the rest of the 3.5% of us are wondering where it's at. See, the black kids hang out with the black kids, white kids with the white kids, Asians and Latinos are split by country, all the emo kids hang in the creepy tree in the quad, and I swear, that's what an Eskimo or Native American is past semester. And don't forget about that girl who said to me, oh, your mom is Puerto Rican? That is so cool. I just had Cuban food for the first time. Experience. More like reality show from hell. Anyway, I know this isn't what you expected along with me asking you for more money, but could you please send me some more? I have none left, love, Sheehan. Thank you very much. Give it up a scorekeeper guy, because he's... No, not stuff that's come out, but I have worked with artists before. Shit, I worked with Mons, I worked with Timberland, I worked with, shit. Stuff me now, you can't think of people now. Oh, God. Oh, I have to look at that. I'm going to have to Google my own shit. Yeah. All right. Any other? Yes, please.
Where did you go to college?
The alligator shit was at Florida Gulf Coast College in Fort Myers, Florida. And then I was scattered around because I went to different schools. Then I moved to LA. Yes?
Where is your favorite place you read poetry and why?
You know what? New Zealand. I keep going back. I go back every year. Just because everyone I met there was dope and nice. I like normal ass people. You know, I don't like people. You know, in LA, like I'm from New York, right? So anybody from LA? Right, so, you know, LA, a lot of people move to LA to become like stars and shit. You know, and they got this like extra like coded shit. Like you say, hey, what's up? They're like, hey! You're like, what the fuck? I just. So, I like the regular. You know, like just normal, not high maintenance, just easy going. And yeah, and so in New Zealand, the people I met, the first time I went there was back in 05, and I've gone every year since. And the friends that I met in 05, I'm still friends with to this day because they were normal. So I go to visit them, they come to my house and visit me when I'm home. So yeah, that's probably the most fun I've had. I think one of the most surprising things I've ever performed was I was in Japan, and I had to send all the poems that I was going to read in the order I was going to read them, and they translated everything. And so it was an audience of like maybe 350, and the first like 2 rows had these earpieces on that were translated, but then the rest of everybody else there was reading the translation on a screen behind me. And that was kind of crazy because it was so quiet. It was just like, I was just like, shit. Like, I didn't know anybody. But it was really interesting for me. Like, it was dope to know that someone still wanted to hear it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the thing that surprises me, is the fact that people care to hear my story. You know, that's like a very humbling thing.
You know, so I definitely enjoyed that. So, yes, please.
At what moment did you realize you wanted to become a storyteller?
I think, like, I think it was right after my friend OD. Like, I just grew up around a bunch of people who felt like their story wasn't valid, or like what they had to say no one cared to listen to. And when and I always read it, but when he OD'd, I felt like there was so much he had to say and wanted to say that he didn't say, so that I felt like it was important for me to not just speak and tell my story, but to tell the stories of my friends as well. So I think that was kind of the molding. Because that's a difficult thing, you know, like I know most people have friends like that they feel like what they have to say don't give a shit. And that's a hard feeling to have. And I think everyone goes through like issues with self-doubt about how and where they fit in and that kind of stuff. And that was something that I always wanted to make sure was that I think that was the moment for me. So, was it? Yes, please.
Why do you not smoke?
I have asthma, so that's already. And you know what's fucking crazy? I never had an asthma attack in New York. As soon as I moved to LA, I had my first asthma attack because the air is fucked up. And it completely threw me off. So I for sure, I had no interest in smoking, but yeah. And here's what's crazy too. I think I've been really lucky. Like if I look at my life, I've been very lucky. All of my friends, until I moved to California, none of them drank or smoked. Until I moved to California. And of my friends now, maybe 3 or 4 of them drink. None of them smoke. So I've just been lucky, I don't know. And alcohol just tastes kind of funny, you know what I'm saying, for me. But, well, you know what? Like Puerto Rican rum, there's some rums that smell fantastic. Smell like vanilla. I'm like, ooh, I should totally, no, I shouldn't. And then so, yeah, I know what it is. So, all right, here we go.
So this is oh, anybody scared of flying? This is very random, and then I'm gonna okay, so I'm scared of flying, but because of work, I have to fly, and I used to average between like 70, 80 flights a year, and this is a true story. I was going to Moscow, Idaho, which sounds fake, but I was going to Moscow, Idaho, and I'm standing at the gate, they're like, gate 12B, now boarded from Moscow, Idaho, so I get up and I start walking, and they start playing I Believe I Can Fly. So then, I keep walking, there's this lady holding her baby, and the baby screaming hysterically. I'm like, this is so cliche, baby screaming a R. Kelly song. And like, I go outside, and I see the plane, and it would have been on those propeller planes, like the single-engine Cessna, scared the shit out of me. I hunched over to my seat, I could touch both sides of the plane from my seat. I was bugging, I was sweating and stuff, and normally on those planes, they like turn a key, push a button, pull a lever, to start the propeller. Like a dude actually came out and was like, so I'm sitting there bugging out, and there's this old dude behind me, like 80s old, and he leans forward and he's like, we're going down today. So we take off, and like 10 minutes into the flight, I swear, 10 minutes into the flight, the captain turns towards me, and he's like, can you look out your window and see if you see any planes coming? I was like, no, and he's like, thank you. Shit was crazy. So this piece I wrote, I was stuck on a plane, where engine went out, so we were stuck on the tarmac for like an hour and a half, and this is what I wrote, it's a free ride. Yo, I was on a plane once where the door fell out. I've been on some shit. There's no better way to explain my family than like anyone else's, except for my father, who raised me on crying for girls and never let anyone beat you, and a mother who found enlisting in the Marine Corps made life easier to adjust to than a 5-year-old with the chicken pox. An older sister I've seen 4 times I haven't spoken to since I ran into her on 42nd Street in line for Godzilla in 1985. And another sister raised in Puerto Rico to the echoes of, why couldn't your hair be more like your mother's? And in Vogue, yeah, they're pretty for some black girls. So I remained an only child in a house of cards I'm ready to be crushed by, or paper cut to a slow death with. The fear of living in a house of cards is knowing the right gust of winds can paper cut you to death. When I was a kid, I wanted to be Snake Eyes from G.I. Joe. Black and cool as shit. Until I learned about my Uncle Pete, who died in Vietnam after the ammunition truck he was riding in exploded my grandmother's emotions all over her house. When I was 6, she made me promise her I'd never join the military. She says this country has never done anything for black men worth giving their lives for, and I agree. Then the Marines took my mother. So could you blame me for not trusting this country? Was confiscated the piece of my life without any of my help. How does a 6-year-old rationalize his mother, leaving at home to travel the world? At first, I thought it was cool. My mom was gonna be like Jinx, or Lady J, or Scarlett and G.I. Joe, only she was Puerto Rican and didn't know how to cook and couldn't be seen every day on TV. Then, I grew up, and relationships changed. My father, I want to tell him I miss him and love him more than anything in the world, but I'm scared I'll have nothing else left to say. A fear felt to the left for a city with no seasons, a side of the time frozen, but skipped over, hoping there's a way to just accept things are how they are. Harder by the routine of hardships growing up. Sometimes the relationships between our father and son is lost when words that used to bond just become words used to bond. He says he's sorry for everything, and I can hear it in his voice, a shame acknowledged by the lack of eye contact. I can cry if I know I feel better afterwards, like the day I saw my father cry for the first time. See, all superheroes have weaknesses, carefully camouflage his idiosyncrasies, and the only superhero I knew may do a no job, and a love for the only child he raised, whose strengths would soon succumb to the after effects of Vietnam's residue. See, I realize how hurt we've been by our inability to vocalize feelings not dealt with, like surprises no one wants, harbored emotions kept at bay. I tell my kids the same thing my father told me. Never forget how much Daddy loves you, okay? You know I love you more than anything in the world, right? Almost trying to convince myself that they understand. The guilt or wait for too long a period of time makes his presence felt, and uncomfortable sleep habits, lack of eye contact, and the gray hairs begin to decorate the sides of my head. I want my kids to have the relationship with my parents I have with my grandmother, the only woman I truly had fear of, until I met my wife. She helped raise me with every split emotion she could offer. She was my best friend I wish my daughter grew up to be just like. I guess she was the mother I needed, with my mother not there. See, my mother was a DJ. She cut in and out of my life, a celebrity of sorts, seen on special occasion, the hottest ticket in town. I never had tickets to go see. Annoyingly, she transposed my growth. I want to hug her like I mean it, but I'm scared I found comfort in its emptiness, glad for the party she got started, but left feeling punch drunk by my fear of abandonment. Sometimes, I start fights with my wife for no reason, or for the intimacy found in me afterwards. Confused but still comfortable, always willing to apologize, a life filled with too many hollow apologies. How selfish I've been. One day, my wife will tell me how I used to be, and I'll act like I didn't know it was like that, like baby stories your parents tell your friends, and then apologize to her for everything I've done. And she'll be able to tell by the look in my eyes. See, I was never taught about the feelings of others, or how delicate they are, or how easily a heart can be broken with the right words. I wish I could reach inside of her mind and have all of her questions answered. Back to my mother. She thinks my scars have been healed by the little addressing they've been given. I never realized how much emotion had been pushed to the side until I tried to explain it like a stack of poems never finished or the closing of a chapter not read. My feelings are all cliche. I have no original reactions left, holding tear-spotted napkins down in my eyes, crossing my tears, making sure I get each emotion right. My grandmother recently called to tell me the next time I come over, we need to talk, and it finally hits me. At 92 years old, she's been around forever, but she's not going to live forever. She wants to let me know what's going to happen when she passes, and I don't want to think about the future, but I anticipate its destruction. See, in all my years on this planet, I've never witnessed someone in a box lowered into the ground and then dedicated to the sky, so when I die, I want to be cremated, burning up all of my imperfections, and then have someone sprinkle what's left over some place I've never been to, in hopes of inspiring someone I will never know anything about. Any last question before I do the last one? Yes, please. Yes, I have 3 children. So I have my son, I have 2 sons, and my daughter. So my son Sai is the oldest, he's 7. And he's like a trooper, like size of a dude. And then Ever is our youngest. He's 6 months. Yeah. And it sounds like, but we thought we were done. So it was like, oh, like that. Oh, shit. We left him, but we were like, oh, we thought we were done. So, all right. So, the thing about having kids is that nobody in life can teach you patience. You're just given a lot of opportunities to practice it, right? And I remember when we were potty training my daughter, I was on the phone with one of my friends, a poet actually, his name's Reeves. But I was on the phone with one of my friends, I was about to get my daughter a bath, and I was like, sit down, sweetie, I'm gonna wash you. And she's like, And I was like, no, sit down, I'm gonna wash you. She's like, I was like, hey, you can stand there if you want to, but I'm gonna wash you. And she's like, okay. So I put her in the tub, and I start walking out, and I get out the door, and I look back, and I see her like this. And she started to turn red. I was like, oh my God. So I run back in there, and I reach my hand out and I catch it right before that. Right? And I was like, oh my God. And my friend on the phone had no idea what's going on. He's like, what's the matter? You okay? What's going on? I'm like, I just caught some shit. And all you can do in that situation is just throw it in the toilet, flush, wash your hands, and keep moving. You know, it's nothing you can be like, just go caca. And I play rough with my kids, and my wife hates it. She's like, you can't play rough with them like that. They're gonna try it in school. And I'm like, yeah, that should be funny. And we have these contests like who can beat the other up more. And I'm like, oh yeah, well, I'll rip your arm off and I'll beat you in your head to grow extra foot. And then it's her turn. And anyone who has like younger siblings or kids of their own, when they're young, they don't connect with us the same. My daughter's like, oh yeah, well, I'll punch you in the face. And the sky is blue and an apple. So she's older now, she's got a lot better. And a while back, I had one of her stuffed animals in a headlock. And I was like, if you come any closer, I'm gonna kill her. And she was like, really? Really? I'll rip open your mouth, punch down your throat, and turn your heart off. So this piece here, it has two pieces that I was requested to do. A poem called Love Light and another one called In Response. And Vio wanted me to do In Response. And so this is love in five parts, about love in 5 different stages in my life, what I thought love was, what I think love is. And anybody currently in love? I like the fast though. That's my favorite shit when they're like, The other shit is this shit be like, they're right there. Anyone ever had their heart broken? Anyone ever been responsible for breaking somebody's heart? Yo, you know what the funniest shit about breaking somebody's heart is? It hurts. But the funniest shit about breaking somebody's heart, especially when you're over them and you're done, no matter what they say, what they try and do, once you're over them, it doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? They can be like, I can't believe you broke my heart. You're like, yo, I'm going to movies at 8:30 tonight. So here we go. This is love in 5 parts. Or you ever break up with somebody and they look better after? What are you saving that shit for? Alright, here we go. Part 1. She said it tastes like creation. She swallowed my unborn kids. She carried to full term and gave birth to my guilt. Generations upon a time, history will one ugly face and scared love to unlearn itself. And I find it hard to dream. Because I have a problem sleeping with ghosts. And it seems her scent still exists in my pillowcase. I used to live on her lips. She broke the mold when she cracked a smile. And when she smiled, I exhaled rainbows. For 2 years, I was a kid again. But with that came irresponsibilities. I don't remember how I forgot to love, but I did. Did I ever tell you about the time I watched love die on my doorstep? I'm sorry. I should have let you in. If there's ever time you can't find me, don't worry. I'm doing all right. I'm probably hiding out somewhere, counting my blessings, mumbling something about sunshine, wondering how much love I could live in a lifetime. See, I found my reason to live again. My daughter. And she has me conversing with Father Time, trying to convince him to allow me the ability to witness my future history. I grow my legacy, and I think it's working. See, he led me to her, my wife, and she is my fountain of youth. And I've drank her to the point that I've been reborn, and I've seen the light. In the beginning, it was the Word, and the Word was with God, and that Word was her. And God took one of her ribs to create me, now her. One rib less was left to shape, and I left shapeless. Now 1 + 1 = 1. Our bond cannot be broken. We consummated our commitment to each other and created our first child. Now 1 + 1 = 3. And I know the math sounds strange, and sometimes I find myself struggling with divinity, but why try? Mother, Father, Child is the Holy Trinity. And she's living proof that there is truth in fertility. And with the love that God would envy for her, I will carry the cross from my own crucifixion to make her have more faith in me. And I can hang from that cross, and you can pierce my side with the spear, and I would just bleed more reason to love her. And I could die on that cross, and you could bury me in a tomb, and I rise on the 23rd hour just to prove that I could not live a day without her. And I would go toe-to-toe with eternity for the rights of her next lifetime, because I was the only one made for her. And some may question the love that we share, but it only makes me question their faith. So I ask you, if God is love, then how can my God not be good enough for her? She used to be my sweetest dreams. Now I want her the fuck out of my head. I want to love like me, thinking of you, thinking of me, thinking of you type love, or me telling my friends more than I've ever admitted to myself about how I feel about you type love, or hating how jealous you are, but loving how much you want me all to yourself type love, like seeing how your first name just sounds so good next to my last name, and shit, I wanted to see how far I can get without calling you, and I barely made it out of my garage. See, I want to wait until she falls asleep, then wonder if she's dreaming about us being in love type love, or who loves the other more, or what she's doing at this exact moment, or slow dancing over our apartment to the music of our hearts. Close my eyes and imagine how love so good could just hurt so much when she's not there, and shoot, I love not knowing where this love is headed type love, and check this. I want to place these little post-it notes all around the house so she forgets how much I love her type love, and I want to make up feelings that she makes me feel type love, like wanting her to distract me from whatever I'm doing type love, and just like in high school, I want to spend hours on the phone not saying shit, then fall asleep on the phone, then wake up with her right next to me, then smell all of my covers type love, and I want to deal with my friends making fun of me the way we make fun of them, but they're the same kind of love type love, only difference is this is one of those real love type loves. I want to actually try counting ways I love her, then lose count in the middle just to start over again type love, and I want to break down the time we spend in the seconds just so it sounds like we spend more time together type love, and also like in high school, I want to celebrate one of those 1 month anniversaries, even though it ain't really anniversaries, but doing it just because it makes it happy type love, and I want to fall in love with the melody. The whole place when her numbers down into it, then talk to her until I lose my breath. She leaves me breathless, but with the expanding my lungs, I inhale all of her back into me. I want to love that makes me need to change my cell phone calling plan to something that allows me to talk to her longer. Because in all honesty, I want to avoid one of them high cell phone bill type loves, and I want to love that makes me regret how small my hands are. I mean, the lines on my phones, I give me enough time. There's lovers longer than I'd like to type love, and I want to love that makes me started just thinking about how strong this love is, and I want to love that makes me want to cut off all of my hair, which I did. And for that reason, I was just tired of coming that shit, which is all the story. And not all the hair. Maybe I just clip the split ends and trim my mustache, but it would still be a symbol of how strong my love is for her type love. And I feel comfortable now, so I can tell y'all this. I even be fantasizing about walking out on the green light, just dining in my car, just so I can lose my memory, get transported to some third world country just to get treated. Then someone made me get with you so I can fall in love with you in a different language and see if it still feels the same. See, I want a love that is as unexplainable as she is. And I'm married, and she is the love I share this love with. Thank you.
Steven! Give it up for Steven. Oh, I want to leave y'all with this before I bring this up. So I got a joke this 6-year-old girl told me. So you can take this with you and enjoy it. Okay?
This is bullshit. Alright, what's this?
Anybody?
Alright, one more time. What's this?
Your daughter.
Terrorists. She was 6 years old. I thought that she was fantastic. Y'all ready to find who won the slam? One more time, give it up for all the poets who stepped on stage. Give it up for Shelby, Grant, Invisiman, Carissa, Adair, Lee, Hillary, Adrian, Victor, and Iris. Give it up for them. When I call your name, please come up to the stage and just stand here awkwardly as I do not hand you a prize. Here we go. In third place. Oh, do we have a tie? Oh. I knew that. Oh, shit. In third place with a 28.4. Give it up for Adrian. Give it up for Adrian. All right, in second place with a 29.5. Give it up for Carissa. 0.4 difference. So in first place, walking away with $200 with a 29.9. Give it up for Grant. Give it up for y'all winners. Give it up for Shelby for bringing me out here. Give it up for Shelby. Give it up for the red patch right here. I'm sweating. That should be done. All right. Give it up for the sound guy. The sound guys. All four of them in there playing record. Minecraft. And give it up for the camera guy. Give it up for the camera guy right here. Yes, please. Come on. Of course on stage. All right. No, you can't use the mic. You can't use the mic. You can't use the mic. Go ahead.
Thank you, HHN Cabinet. You guys are so awesome.
Go ahead. I'm backing you up.
Thank you, OSL.
OSL.
Thank you all so much for coming out. Seriously, you made this a wonderful night, and I hope you come back next year, unless you graduate. But yeah.
Thank you very much for coming out. There we go. When she said gang member. All right, there we go. Thank you very much. Have a good night. And